everywhere I've gone, I've won, and I take pride in that. That's the reason I'm in the game, to win and become the best version of Teddy that I can be. And I'll just leave it at that.
That was the new starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater, discussing taking over the reins in Carolina. Bridgewater went 5-0 when filling in for Drew Brees last season in his 22-12 as an NFL starter. So Stephen A., obviously he held things down in New Orleans when Drew Brees wasn't there. So tell me this, do you believe that Bridgewater's a winner?
No, he's not a loser. But when you say winner, I'm thinking success as in championships or championship contention. Since the moment he arrived in the National Football League, we respect Teddy Bridgewater. He's an incredibly likable guy, but he's been considered a relatively pedestrian quarterback, somebody that's not going to beat himself. He's not going to be a negative, but is he a game changer? Is somebody who could deliver the goods? He wasn't perceived as being that kind of a guy. He had one 11-5 season in 2015 with the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, a nasty knee injury derailed him to some degree. He comes back last year with the New Orleans Saints. They're an elite team in the National Football League. He certainly helped offset the loss of Drew Brees to a significant degree. We can't deny that. But it wasn't a lights out performance or anything like that. He plays within himself. Again, he avoids the mistakes that ultimately beat you. He's no Jameis Winston by any stretch of the imagination. He'll never contend for Defensive Player of the Year as a quarterback because he's not going to turn over the football all the damn time. But is he a game changer, that kind of guy that you can hand the football to and say, this is your franchise, take us to the promised land? No, I don't view him that way. I view him as a guy that's capable of starting for a few teams, preferably teams that are solid in a multitude of areas where you don't need greatness from him in order to elevate them. He's certainly an elite backup in the National Football League. He belongs in the National Football League. I don't have a problem with him being a starter. I don't have a problem with the $63 million that he got, because with everybody getting 30+ million, he's getting about $21 million a year. I think he's worthy of that. But to say that when you say you're a winner, I must ask, what have you won? And he's won a few games, but he hasn't really won anything. And that's why I say, when I hear the word winner, I think of something totally different than what his description of it is.
Yeah, he's not a winner unless you go by the dictionary definition of the word, Stephen A. He's 22-12 lifetime. That's not just winning a couple of games. Understand, he starts as a rookie, 6-6. That's fine. You're 500 as a rookie. A lot of rookies do a lot worse than that. He was 6-6 and holding it down. When you say not beating yourself, I was a little surprised Belichick didn't want to snap him up. In fact, I think maybe they think that much of Stidham. They think that Stidham's already maybe Bridgewater level-ish, and they have high hopes for him. You'll know that if you don't see another veteran quarterback there other than Brian Hoyer backing Stidham up. But anyway, Belichick talks about it, right? And how many former Patriots talk about it? How many games are won by you just not beating yourself? Because the other team will lose it, right? So Teddy Bridgewater has at least that, but it's more than that, because I'm sorry, you don't go 22-12 lifetime, knowing that you were only 500 as a rookie. So do the math. That's 16-6 since then. 16-6 since then. Since you start 500 as a rookie. He wins all the time. At a certain point, that ain't dumb luck. Who does he remind me of in today's game? Garoppolo. He reminds me of Garoppolo. And Garoppolo had enough in common with Tom Brady that Belichick wanted to give Garoppolo the reins. Now, Garoppolo's not Brady, and maybe Bridgewater's not quite Garoppolo. Maybe you're degrading it one over the other. But Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. Garoppolo almost never loses, just had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter of his Super Bowl. And here we have Teddy Bridgewater, winner. He's a winner. Can he win a Super Bowl? I'm with you. I don't know if he has the kind of playmaking ability that puts you over the top against other teams that don't make mistakes. But could he possibly? Yeah, I don't see why not. He has a quick release. He makes quick decisions. He doesn't make mistakes. He throws a pretty spiral. I mean, what do you want from your quarterback? He's pretty damn good. I think, I'd say he's a winner based on the fact he wins twice as much as he loses.
Well, I'm going to respond to that by saying I have no problem with the pretty damn good. Doesn't bother me at all. Doesn't bother me at all. There's plenty of dudes that have been pretty damn good that haven't been perceived as winners, because the way we categorize winners is a different connotation than pretty damn good. That's number one. Number two, when you bring up Jimmy Garoppolo, you mean that Jimmy Garoppolo who threw for 77 yards in the NFC Championship game? You mean that Jimmy Garoppolo who threw for 208 yards in 2 playoff games combined? Let me tell you something right now. You can be surrounded with greatness, and that could buffer your status to some degree. When you are a winner, we're able to look at you and what you do in terms of making a difference and having a profound impact on the outcome or a successful outcome of a contest. When we look at the great ones that we call winners, even those who are not champions, Dan Marino, and I'm certainly not trying to put Teddy Bridgewater in that category, though, please don't let me wrong. I'm just talking about the word winner. Dan Marino has never won a Super Bowl. There is nobody that knows anything about football that would not call Dan Marino a winner. Because we've not just seen the Dolphins win an abundance of games with him at the helm. We saw them do it because of him. That's the difference. I'm saying use the eye test. The eye test, when you're looking at guys perform, you can avoid making mistakes. But are they winning because of you? That's the question mark here, and that's all I'm saying. He's pretty damn good. You're right.
That's a team carrier, Stephen A.
It's a different category for me.
That's a team carrier. Look, that's a team. Generally, colloquially in sports, that's a team carrier, right?
Okay.
But a winner is this. Look, let me ask you this about Teddy Bridgewater. I agree, he's not going to make mistakes. He ain't Aaron Rodgers, right, or Patrick Mahomes. He's going to, oh my God, did you see that play with the game on the line? But we've seen Eli Manning. Eli Manning basically game manage and then in the moment of truth come up with that big play. I'd say, obviously, Bridgewater is not these two, but this type of quarterback, they're different physically. But Tom Brady, and Russell Wilson, early in their careers were basically game managers big on third down. You mean to tell me that Teddy Bridgewater couldn't game manage you and keep you in a position to win and then is incapable of making a big play on third down when you need him? You don't think he has it in him?
Well, first of all, I don't have a problem. Yeah, he is capable of being a game manager. That would happen to be what I called him. Secondly, and more importantly, I classify that differently than being a winner. Thirdly, could he make a big play on a third down or whatever? Fine. I haven't seen many of them. Number 4, when you brought up Eli Manning, you don't get to say that. Eli Manning, in your eyes, is a Hall of Famer. As a Giants fan, he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. You've raved about Eli Manning, and even though he didn't have 300-yard passing games in actual Super Bowls, you've brought up a plethora of situations and times where he showed up in the postseason, on the road in Green Bay, against Atlanta or somebody else, and he has showed up and has shown out in big clutch moments. So my point to you is that's something we're waiting to see from a Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay.
When you
but
say
you're
the
eliminating
winner,
him from that
again,
possibility?
he's hold on. I heard you. Listen to my point. When you say winner, I gotta hold you accountable for that. I don't have a problem with him being very good. I'm not questioning that he deserved his money. I'm not questioning that he deserves to be a starter. But when you say winner, it's within my right to ask, what have you won?
Yeah, okay. But if you're 22-12 and you haven't been put in the position where, okay, let's see if you got it in the moment of truth, to assume that it's not there, I'm not saying you can just presume that it's there, but assume that it's not there is not fair. So what we have to go on is his actual body of work. And just like I point out Garoppolo takes over a San Francisco team that can't buy a win. Wins 5 games, no losses, gets hurt. They're the worst team in football practically without him. So if what he does is so easy to approximate, why couldn't someone else? He comes back. Again, they're one of the best teams. They were the best team in the NFC. Best team in football through the fourth quarter, up until the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl with a 10-point lead on Mahomes and them. So what we've seen from Bridgewater so far, if you want to change it, or if your definition of winner is team carrier, no, he is not that. But winner, a 22-12 dude who is not a winner, who, by the way, we haven't even seen him fail on the big stage. Let's at least wait until he fails in the moment of truth to say he's not a winner.
who will sit up there and look at a guy like the Greek Freak, call him the best player in the world on a Thursday, have him barely ranked in the top 5 on a Monday. This from you, who has sat up there and has excoriated James Harden in the postseason time after time again, even though he's been to multiple playoffs and conference finals and has been a league-leading scorer. Suddenly, just winning games but no trophies is not that important to you. Okay.
Evidence-based. So far, the evidence says Bridgewater's a winner.
Gentlemen, we are out of time. Speaking of winning, it's going to be tough for him to even win the NFC South. He's got to go up against his former team twice and Tom Brady twice now. John Jones is in hot water again. We'll tell you what happened and what this means for his upcoming fight. And the King has spoken. LeBron James will tell you how he's training and the challenges he fears for the NBA moving forward. Jay Williams will join that discussion. First take after the break.